Ever wondered why you're inexplicably drawn to toxic relationships? It's a perplexing question, isn't it? Well, let's dive in and unravel this mystery together. You see, attraction to toxicity in relationships often roots from psychological factors. It's like a magnet pulling us towards what we know isn't good for us. Low self-esteem, for example, may make us feel undeserving of healthy relationships, pushing us towards the toxic ones instead. Similarly, fear of loneliness can also make us cling to relationships that are clearly harmful. It's a classic case of better the devil you know than the devil you don't. Then there's the distorted perception of love. We often mistake intensity for intimacy, chaos for passion. But love isn't about constant turmoil, it's about mutual respect and understanding. So the first step in breaking free from toxic relationships is understanding the magnet effect. Recognize it, confront it, and then you can start to overcome it. Does drama in relationships give you an adrenaline rush? The drama junkie. You know, there's a peculiar sort of allure to the highs and lows of a drama-filled connection. It's like a suspense novel, isn't it? Every page, every interaction brimming with unpredictability, the intensity of the arguments, the passionate resolutions, it's all very intoxicating. You see, for some, this emotional roller coaster masquerades as excitement, the unpredictability, the constant ups and downs. They keep you on your toes, don't they? But let's not mistake chaos for passion, the constant turmoil, the ceaseless uncertainty. It's no foundation for a stable, healthy relationship. It's like being addicted to a soap opera, except this is your life we're talking about. Drama might be a great spectacle on the telly, but in a relationship, it's about as healthy as a diet of candy floss and cola. But remember, a healthy relationship shouldn't feel like a roller coaster ride. Ever thought you could fix a toxic person? Let's dive into the allure of the fixer-upper fantasy. Picture this. You're standing in front of a ramshackle house, paint peeling, roof sagging, but you see potential. You're convinced that with a little TLC, this house could be a home. Now replace that house with a person. This, dear friends, is the fixer-upper mentality, and it's as flawed as that dilapidated house. We often fall into the trap of believing we can change our toxic partners, that our love, our patience, our understanding can magically transform them into the partner we desire. But here's the hard truth. People aren't projects. They aren't puzzles to be solved or houses to be renovated. They are complex, autonomous beings with their own will, and trying to fix them often leads to disappointment and heartache. So remember, you can't fix people, you can only love them. Are you sticking to toxic relationships because they feel familiar? It's a question that can make us squirm, but it's worth considering. We're creatures of habit after all, and sometimes the devil we know seems less scary than the devil we don't. Toxic relationships, despite their drama and pain, can be oddly comforting. They offer a known rhythm, a predictable pattern. We know the script, we know our lines, and we know the ending. It's a twisted dance we've danced before, and there's comfort in that familiarity. However, this familiarity can be a gilded cage. It keeps us from exploring healthier relationships and prevents us from growing. To break free, we need to step out of our comfort zone to embrace the unknown. It may be scary, it may be uncomfortable, but it's crucial for our personal growth. Familiarity may feel comfortable, but it doesn't mean it's good for you. Ready to break the cycle of toxic relationships? The first step is setting boundaries. Like a sturdy fence around a beautiful garden, boundaries protect your emotional space. They help you decide who gets to enter and how far they can go. Next, learn to recognize red flags. These are the warning signals that something isn't quite right. It could be constant criticism, controlling behavior, or a refusal to communicate. If you see these signs, it's time to reconsider. Finally, prioritize self-care. This isn't just about bubble baths and spa days, although those can be nice. It's about taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health. It's about taking time to rest, to reflect, and to recharge. Remember, breaking free from a toxic relationship isn't like flipping a switch. It's a journey, and it takes time. But every step you take towards healthier relationships is a step in the right direction. Breaking the cycle isn't easy, but it's worth it. Ever heard that you can't love others until you love yourself? This age-old wisdom rings particularly true when it comes to avoiding toxic relationships. You see, self-love is the cornerstone upon which healthy relationships are built. It sets the bar for how we allow others to treat us. When we truly love ourselves, we understand our worth. We recognize that we are deserving of respect, kindness, and genuine love. We refuse to settle for anything less. We demand quality in our interactions and relationships, not out of arrogance, but out of self-respect. Imagine self-love as a protective shield, a barrier that toxic relationships struggle to penetrate. This shield not only protects us, but also guides us towards relationships that enrich, empower, and inspire us. In the end, self-love isn't about just pampering yourself with bubble baths or treating yourself to a shopping spree. It's about respecting and valuing yourself, acknowledging your self-worth, and demanding nothing less in your relationships. Self-love isn't just about pampering yourself, it's about respecting and valuing yourself. Who's got your back when you're trying to escape a toxic relationship? Well, let's talk about that. You see, it's crucial to have a solid support network around you. These are the people who remind you of your worth when you're feeling low, who lend an ear when you need to vent, and even offer a couch to crash on when things get too tough. Think about who you trust, who uplifts you. It could be your best mate, your sister, or that high school teacher who always believed in you. And if you're thinking, I don't have that, don't fret. There are professionals out there, therapists, counselors, who are ready and willing to lend a helping hand. You're not alone in this journey. Reach out, speak up, let others in. It's okay to need help, to lean on others. That's what they're there for, after all. Remember, you don't have to go through this alone. Did you know that even toxic relationships can teach you valuable lessons? It might sound a bit off-kilter, but hear me out. We're not advocating for staying in harmful situations, but merely reflecting on past experiences and extracting the wisdom they hold. See, toxic relationships, as draining as they might be, can be a crucible for personal growth. They force us to confront parts of ourselves we might rather ignore, and they highlight patterns we need to break. It may be a bitter pill to swallow, but acknowledging our role in these relationships is a crucial step towards better choices in the future. Think of it this way: every mistake is a lesson in disguise, every heartbreak a stepping stone to resilience. It's about finding the silver lining in the storm clouds. So take a moment to reflect, learn from the past, and use it as a compass for the future. Every relationship, even the toxic ones, are stepping stones on your journey. Scene script: are you perfect? No, and that's okay. Let's face it, none of us are, but we live in a world that constantly pushes us to chase perfection. This can often become a trap, leading us into toxic relationships where we're constantly trying to meet impossible standards or fix unfixable things. But here's the truth: it's our flaws, our quirks, our so-called imperfections that make us unique. They shape our character, our experiences, and our perspectives. Embracing these imperfections can be incredibly freeing. It allows us to be authentic, to love ourselves just as we are, and to seek relationships that value our true selves. So instead of striving for a mythical perfection, let's strive for growth, for understanding, for compassion. Let's accept that we all have our rough edges, and that's perfectly fine. After all, it's these rough edges that often fit together to create the most beautiful mosaics. Embrace your imperfections. They make you who you are. Before we wrap up, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It's like a friendly tap on the shoulder that says, hey, I appreciate your wisdom. Plus, you wouldn't want to miss out on our upcoming topics. We'll dive deeper into the realms of relationships, personal growth, and the art of dodging toxic love bullets. So go on, give that like button some love too. Remember, every step you take towards healthier relationships is a step towards a better you. Until next time, cheers.